Stretchy Sunday. And it's a tech stretch, I have to admit. The stay-at-home order, as it gets deep into the end, your boy has discovered video games. And for all the times I've naysayed, all you people out there who are gamers, how can they spend so much time? I get it now. The shit is entertaining. And you forget about everything else, which is probably the beauty of the process, right? And I'm a big proponent of anything that fully pulls your focus in and gets the blinders on and really gets you into a practice. The downside, however, is that we completely forget about all of our other feelings, our posture, how we're holding the neck and shoulders. And for sure, some things have come up for me just in the past couple of days of being a gamer now. And of course that follows if you're doing any desk work, if you're on the computer, if you're on the phone frequently. There's a certain set of postures and habitual mechanics that go along with that set of stuff. And now I more than ever understand the physical manifestations of that static overuse. So today is tech stretch because we're going to address directly those things that have come up for me that I've noticed, and I would imagine could be addressed for many of us watching right now. We need very soft floor space because we're going to be smashing the knuckles down, all that good stuff, working the fingers and wrists. You got wrist extensor tightness, thumb extensor tightness, all that good stuff. We need a towel also because this is how we're going to apply a lot of the force to the head and neck. Backside of the neck, also rhomboids, all that stuff taking a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility while we're in our desk tech situation. We're going to get started right away with the forearms, wrist and finger extensors. If you have any wrist injury, just be easy with these, take it lightly. If any acute pain shows up, of course, stop, reassess, think about it. Play with your postures a little bit and your approaches. Let me demonstrate first, and then we're off to a 2-minute looping resistance stretch. And when I say resistance stretch, you know I mean we're moving in and out of the position with muscular tension. Imagine where the stretch goes and fight yourself moving in, and then with good muscle, like it's a weight lift with a range of motion in and out. Push yourself out of all the resistance stretches. So this shouldn't be passive by any means. It shouldn't even be relaxing really until we get to some of the holds, which we will get to. But at first, make sure you're working pretty hard. Treat these more like exercises, like strength exercises than stretches. So ideally, we're sitting on the knees like this. If it's uncomfortable, find another way to sit. Totally fine. But once I'm up on my knees, I'm able to load my body weight and make good use of that. Now, I'm making a regular fist with my two hands where the thumb wraps around those first couple fingers. Not this hook grip style, but out here, okay? And then I'm putting my fist right next to my knees at this point. The elbow stays straight, and I'm rolling slowly to the backs of my hands. Now, this almost feels dangerous if I put too much weight quickly on. I'm wrist locking myself. We don't want to go too far. We don't want to put too much weight down, especially before we're really warmed up. So be very, very gentle. Realize we're going to feel the top side of the forearm, top side of the hand and wrist. That's where you should feel that stretch, and be very, very gentle. So again, make the fist, knuckles right next to those knees, or if you're seated in another way, just right there in front, about shoulder width. This is actually, in this setup, it's lighter, so we're not going to be afraid of putting too much weight down. We roll the wrists out and get to the backs of the hands, and then still with a little bit of weight down, make your fists do some work to unroll and come back up. It should feel like some hard work on the top side of the forearm. Now, if you're not used to forearm work, Be very gentle with the application of force here. Go very slowly in both directions. And that's for all of us. Even if you're super seasoned with forearm and wrist isolation work, go very slow in both directions. That is the nature of the resistance stretch. And again, I'm not just going into the positions. I'm putting weight down with my torso, controlling it, and then I'm using strength to come back up. Make it challenging if that feels right. Start lightly. We have 2 minutes of slow repetitions of that. You choose again how far to go in the range and also how much weight to put down. But ideally, through the 2-minute interval, we should be able to go deeper into the range and put a little more force down. We're doing this just once, so really get into it. We have 2 minutes, your own pace, slow is good. Begin. Wrist extensor. Finger and wrist extensor. Make sure every rep is effort. But be careful with those wrists. Don't overflex. Keep those elbows straight. Oh. You can experiment with which knuckles get the most pressure. Make sure they're not all just on that forefinger. Roll a couple towards the pinky a little bit. And you feel a slightly different experience as we go along. Put weight down, control it. Make your wrists do muscle work. Push yourself back up the weight of the torso. Each rep, as comfort allows, go a little further into the range, deeper into the stretch. Oh, and keep that fist. Keep the fingernails on the palm. Top side of the forearm. The watch side of the forearm. "30 more seconds, so get into it. Find your angle, put some pressure down. Ooh, that can be very effort intensive if we put that torso weight down. Get those reps, make it a challenge, create some change, create some difficulty, and slowly ease out. Great. Now just take a quick catalog of what you're feeling. The top sides of the forearms, not only are they opened up, but they're very much activated as well. We just put a lot of strength responsibility through them. Continue to be gentle. Now we flip and work the other side of the forearms, the flexor side. So put the hand here on that belly, the part that doesn't get much sunlight. Make a fist and grind the knuckles down towards the wrist. You should feel that brick of muscle activate and do its thing a little bit. So it would follow that if this is the contraction, this would be the stretch or the opening up. We're going to do just that. I'm facing my palms a little bit in. Sorry, my wrist a little bit in, a little bit towards the camera, like so. Again, I'm being very careful with the weight. If it's too heavy or if we're scared of the weight, just come down and work it like so. Actually, that's a little deeper angle too, so you got a couple options. I'm going to go back to the knees so I can pack a lot of weight into this one. And I'm here in front of me with the wrist forward, like so. Straighten the elbows. The end position is up here, forward fingertip push up, and then slowly letting the fingers bend back, bring the thumb with it. Try to get the wrist almost to the floor, if not all the way there. Notice I didn't bend the elbows, I'm keeping them stiff. And then with the weight still down on my body, rolling those wrists up and going all the way to fingertips. So that the movement is this. And we often do just that here. We use one hand, we do the stretch. However, we're going to get both hands at one time. We're going to get the weight of the torso, which is going to allow for more resistance on this resistance stretch. 2 minutes of the finger and wrist flexors, the belly side of the forearm. Be gentle. Only go as far as comfort allows. And begin 2 minutes. Steamroll the hands down with the weight of the torso. Make sure we feel the stretch on the belly side of the forearm. And if we don't, we can inch the hands forward so we get a deeper angle at the wrist. And then still with the weight of the torso down, we lift up and go to the fingertips. You're going to see how much weight you can handle, both on the way down into the stretch, and the way back up out of the stretch. And if the angle isn't deep enough, just move the hands forward. This is very similar to the calf raises we just did on the stair quickie, the workout before this one, where the heel was off the edge of the stairs. We got this deep, deep stretch with the calf raises. If you feel work in the forearms, you're not alone. Major, major work. But make sure we get deep enough for a stretch. So if you have to inch the hands forward, so be it. Gentle and slow. Keep moving. Looks like we have 35 seconds left, so get a couple more of these good quality repetitions. Deep wrist and finger flexor stretch. All the way in. And realize this is also strengthening and building muscle mass because we're resisting on the way down. We're strengthening on the way up. I don't know if that's a verb, strength to strength. I know strengthening, but we're applying power on the way back up. I'll get one more. Just kind of distract myself talking. Shake it out. Now we have this equivalent tension, but also opening the front and the back of the forearm. So all this bullshit on the keyboard, for me it was the Xbox controller. Thumbs and wrist, static, constant abuse. We've got to break it up with big range of motion and force, and we did just that with the resistance stretches. Yeah, realize if you do lots of work like this, which many of us watching do, everybody does a little bit of it watching, I would assume. The weight of the hand, keeping that joint flat, all these wrist extensor muscles get constant static abuse. They get locked up, these trigger point adhesions. That's a different topic. But think of it like this, this is all this good contractile tissue. It's stuck here. So to break it up, we need to do what we just did and move it and put force through it and all that good stuff. Great treatment. Now we're going to do the same two positions, but static holds for 2 minutes. So back to the wrist extensor. Now that it's all thoroughly warmed up, making the fists going down. And that can be towards the forefinger side, towards the pinky side, down the middle finger, whatever feels right. And we're holding that for 2 minutes. Be very, very gentle. Moving into it, holding it, and getting out of it. 2 minutes of static hold for the backs of the forearms begins now. Make that regular fist. Roll out to the sides. And a little bit of weight, a gentle amount of weight from the torso. Try your best to keep the fist rolled up in a ball. It's really easy to just plop the hand flat. But if we keep those fingers curled up, we're putting the finger and wrist extensor muscles at greater length. Elbows straight, nice deep breath. And just be very decisive and careful with the amount of weight you're putting down from the torso. Coming up on halfway, 1 minute left, enjoy. This one's the passive one. So chill. Let gravity do a lot of the effort here. Feel free to experiment with the angle, the radial ulnar rotation. $30 left. Try to keep that fist balled up. I'm starting to lose mine a little as the forearms get really relaxed. As I rotate the forearm, I do feel quite a different experience. Oh. Pack a little extra weight down, final couple seconds. And very gently lift the weight off. And you might feel a little vulnerable there. I know I do. Give it some wiggles. Ooh, oh, oh. And now we're in the very vulnerable to damage state with the wrist extensors. We've, in effect, quieted the natural stretch reflex that's protective in our joints and our soft tissue. So be very, very careful for the rest of today. I would assume you're not going to do any heavy bag work or fist push-ups after a stretch session, but make sure you make that decision. Realize the rolling of the wrist now is at risk. All right, it's not going to naturally snap back so strong like it always does. 2 minutes now on the flexor side. So maybe I'll opt for the seated version this time instead of the knees, but either way works. Just like the exercise we did here, we're going to steamroll down, make the thumbs right in line with the hands, get that angle. Elbows are straight. The wrist is just barely approaching the floor, so I know I have some room to grow still. If we're so far back that the wrist is just there, we're not getting stretched. We need the angle. Look at that much deeper angle there. Up here it's 90, whatever. Let's go further. Oh, really find the belly of the forearm, the flexor stretch. And we hold this one for 2 minutes. Be gentle. Get in and out of it gently. 2 minutes. Let's go. From the knees or from the cross-legged. Whatever feels right. Make sure we have those thumbs out there as well. Use a little tricep tension to keep the elbow straight. And it's all about the wrist angle. So if we want to deepen it, we can sit back a little. Oh, plan. I feel it. Less commonly abused with the keyboard mouse lifestyle here. This is more grippy stuff. I just saw Phil this morning. What's up, Phil? People like him who do a lot of climbing, a lot of serious grip work, finger flexor work. This one is going to feel nice for. If you've just been doing our home workout classes, obviously we also do a lot of weird grip with the towel, with the doorway. This week, Adam and I did that nice doorway upper body workout. These are going to be cooked also from that. So just enjoy. Breathe into it. Imagine you had lungs in your forearms, and every time you take an inhale, just brush out all the dust. Revitalize those muscles. Start to anticipate your exit plan. Got to be very gentle. And just start by lifting the torso weight off the hands. I can't quite see our timer, so I'm not sure how close we are, but we'll get there. And ease out. Oh, wow. That's quite vulnerable feeling. Even like the skin of the palm feels weird. Woo! So yes, if you feel vulnerable like I do, that means you got into the stretch, that passive stretch, quite effectively. But also that means these facilities aren't there for the rest of the day. So think of your safety and just, go about your business carefully. Any intense gripping activities, be very gentle with, very, very gentle. And don't expect your natural stretch reflexes to protect you for the rest of today. Oh, ooh, that's strange. But nice. We're opening up. Okay. Now we move to the upper back. And when I say upper back, of course, what's included are the muscles that support the weight of the skull, the head, and the neck. Most notably, those ones behind us, because we're here. I found myself in this a lot. Not just the down, but the chin forward and the rounded spine. So the weight of the shoulder blades, the weight of the head and neck, all on the erector spinae, the rhomboids, the upper traps, all that stuff behind our shoulder blades. Oh, and it's just achy. And then when I get into a workout, it reminds me, ooh. And then when I sit in bed at the end of the day and sit on my phone like a robot, it just adds to that tension. We need to counter that. Look at this posture. We need to counter. We need to do the opposite. We need to open the chest and get the shoulders back. We need to kick that chin back and relax it. First, however, I want you to explore the traction you can create in this section of your spine, the cervical jump, just with movement, just with muscle. The story I like to tell is the eternal, and without shrugging, get into the turtle shell. Oh. Make your neck shorter, whatever that means for you. Oh. Choose just some kind of flexion and or extension in that neck section. Like make the double chin. Oh. And then how tall can you make your neck? Get out of the turtle shell. And I'm hearing all these little cracks and pops in my vertebrae when I do that. Oh, opening up. Get into the turtle shell. Oh, feel all cramped up. And then extend out. Ooh, free that voice box. Nice and tall. Stretch the skin of the neck. Okay, without shrugging and dropping the shoulders, just keep those static. See what you can do with the vertebrae only. Get into the turtle shell. And get out of the turtle shell. And just explore. Get out. This is as much about coordination as anything else. Short again. Dip in and feel how compacted that feels. Oh, it's bringing up the discomfort I feel when I'm sitting there on the Xbox. Now open up. Nice and tall. Oh, I can almost feel airspace. I know it's not there, but it's a concept for my head. Between the cervical vertebrae. Oh, that's nice. And we're leaving. All right, so understand you have that control to traction. And we really have that control also throughout the entire section, well, all sections of the spine. And that can be another discussion later, but why don't we just do one rep of that right now? Not just the neck section, but the entire spine can be compacted with ab tension. And then also with ab tension, open it up. How tall can you get? All the way from the seat this time, from the tailbone. Realize we have that now. As we go through these neck stretches, we're going to want to be in long mode. Get out of the turtle shell. So we traction first, and then we get these nice stretches. So I'll remind us every position, but as we go through the neck stuff, think long first, and then find the angle. Don't stretch from the short mode. Stretch from long mode, and you'll feel a better range. Take the towel, we're going to fold it. We're going to fold it again. let's go ahead and just roll it up now. Or maybe, yeah, we'll do one more. All right, we're just making it into the tightest ball we can. Fold, 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 and now I'm rolling that. Now we get this big old towel ball situation. All right, watch me first. I'm gonna lie down, and I'm gonna treat this like a pillow. Put it right behind my neck. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Don't go there just yet. Now, I want to get this. I want to roll my body back until it's behind my shoulder blades. So watch. Roll, shuffle. You gotta kind of like shove it down your back, like so. So now it's directly between my shoulder blades. And look at all this airspace underneath my neck. Now my neck is lifted. This is no longer like a pillow. It's on my spine. And we want the biggest lift possible. So if you have to ball up your towel some more to get more lift, better. Now, I already feel the tension on the front side of my neck, the side of the neck that never gets the work while we're just chin down at the desk. Let's start by looking up. And length first, remember length first. Don't compact and look back. Get long out of the turtle shell and look back. And kind of force your chin up so you can stretch that skin underneath your chin. Let's just do 5 of those reps. And then come up and get the chin to the chest. Chin up. Chin to chest. Chin up. Long. Chin to chest. One more is enough. Chin up. Chin to chest. Now, I'm adding some resistance by pushing with my knuckles up underneath my chin. So my chin is fighting against the hands, my hands are pushing up. And we do the same exact movement we just did. Check it out. Open up, long. Drive down against the hands. Open up against resistance, slow. Get the big chin stretch. And come down. Like so. 2 minutes of that, be very gentle if you're not used to neck isolation. This one may be very uncomfortable. So take on as much as feels appropriate for you. Don't go too hard because then you're going to be uncomfortable for the next day or so. Be very gentle. If you need to pause, stop, please do. And don't feel obliged to use that extra resistance. Gravity alone is doing something for us. 2 minutes, begin. Whoa, yeah, the head is already heavy. So it takes minimal hand push to make this a deep resistance stretch. Feel free to inhale on the way down, like you're breathing like a frog into your throat. Ooh, it's getting heavy. Even more effective to do this on the edge of a bed. Let your head hang off completely. Ooh, yeah. Put some strength into it. Whoa. Remember, this isn't just stretching. We're strengthening and building also today with this approach. It's kind of bodybuilding in a way. Controlled negatives, big range of motion, lots of repetitions, continuous time under tension. All the facets of building mass just happen to also be the facets of the best stretching technique available as of now. And think about that too with your other exercises. If you do it with control in the biggest range of motion possible, and then you even allow the weight you're using to force additional range of motion, You're going to support your flexibility. It's a bit of a misconception that lifting makes you tighter. In fact, if you lift the way we're doing our moves today, every repetition you do with weights can make you more mobile. I always put it like this, how low can you go with your squat? Any random person. Say we're here. Now, if I put an extra 200 pounds on your back, I would imagine you could go a little bit lower, right? You're going to get forced into those positions. So the external resistance tools, in today's case, it's our own power. We can achieve greater mobility. So let that process happen. Let the lifting and the resistance training of any fashion support your mobility and flexibility. Now we're working the backside of the neck. And before we move on, just take a catalog. How does it feel? I got a lot of tension right here. Like collarbones to chin to jaw. A little bit even down my chest too is where I'm feeling some. And a weird fatigue that I'm not used to, because again, I'm used to that fatigue back here from the stuff, not so much here. Woo! Let's level it out now. We'll get the very necessary stretches for the backside of the neck. Now we're going to use our towel as a strap. Get the strap. I'm up here, like so. And I'm kind of cradling the back of my skull, that little back apex there. A little bit above ear height, so you can see my earlobes popping out underneath the towel. Right. I don't want to be down here like a gym bro. Just got out from the spa. All right, this isn't it. We're up here on the top of the skull, using this as a tool. I'm cross-legged, or whatever seating style is comfortable for you. And here's the move. I'll show you without the towel. Imagine that towel's still there. I'm going chin down, and I'm also rolling the hips back so I can round the spine. So, and again, long. Also, all these neck stretches, think long first, expand, traction, and then chin down, and a little bit of rolling back to the lower back. Against the resistance of the towel, I'm pushing up. Sticking the chest out, shoulders back, and lift the chin just a little bit. So this is the move. And these are here with the towel, pulling forward, pulling back down. So when we're lifting the head, we're pushing it against the pull of the hands, and that becomes the resistance portion. 2 minutes of that, your own pace, your own amount of resistance. Let's do it. Hold. And feel that stretch all the way down the back, right next to the spine on either side. And look up a little extra. Chest out, shoulder back. Chin down, roll. How low can you feel that back stretch? And up. Don't forget about the length, the traction. Separate first, get out of the turtle shell, and then stretch. And realize we're strengthening the back of the neck as well as stretching it. Act accordingly. Put a little force in the arms. Look up at the end. In constant tension with that towel. There shouldn't be a relaxed point. Chest out at the top. Chest caved at the bottom. Keep moving. And relax that and take note right away where you feel the tension. For me, all the way back, and it even goes like this low, middle back. Ugh. The erector spinae, that's supporting the upper thoracic and cervical sections of the spine. Getting that work. Let's see, what do we have next? Okay, now we kind of got the side of the neck, upper traps. Gonna get up some of these big bricks of muscle. Scalene might get touched a little. Sternocleidomastoid might get touched a little. We'll see what you feel. We're gonna use the towel again as a strap. I'm going to come back a little. Stay in the view. Now, let's put it under our right shin. Look at that. It's trapped by my right shin. And then the towel comes behind. Like so, look at that. I've captured my right shin, and then I'm grabbing that towel, the entire bundle. Like so. We put it down, the right side. Grip nice and low, maybe crawl your hand down. So when we stand up like this, nice and upright, we're feeling already that upper trap, get traction, get pulled down. So if you're not feeling that pull, just go ahead and crawl down with the grip with your hand. Now, left foot, come up to a battle stance, like so. And now, just feel the trap alone. I'm still out of that camera view. Feel the trap alone when we lean away and look away from the shin. We should feel a nice pull, a nice set of traction in that shoulder. You can grip lower if you need. And let's also slide down the shin. I was right by the knee. I want to come about mid-shin. Go a little bit lower. It's going to help track it. So the hand's behind us. Now, leaning away, bring this extra hand, pull right above the ear. Getting long, and then cranking my head and neck out to the side as I lean away from the strap and get this entire chain a nice stretch. It's not exactly sideways, but I'm turning my chin just a little bit to that corner and pulling down as I lean away. And then I come up right and I push against the fingers. This is going to bug me, so I need to change the camera angle. I apologize for the interruption. This is once again a resistance stretch, so make sure you're fighting with the head against the hands. Don't just do the move, but make this a bit of a weight lift. Okay, so I'm mid-shin, I grab it with my right hand, and I trap it down. Other foot comes up, angle out just a little bit, chin out to the side, grab the head and neck. I'm pulling constantly this way with the hand, and the head is pushing against it. We're going to lean away, let the hands win, and then let the head win. Come back up. Pull away, use that strap to traction shoulder from the side of the neck stretch. And we'll get these repetitions for 2 minutes. I know it's a big, heavy bundle for the gripped hand. After we just quieted down the forearm flexors, so it's going to be tough on the grip, it's going to be strange on the grip. Begin, 2 minutes. Like so. Lean away. Stretch the side and slightly the back of the neck, that corner. And you're breathing right here in this space. From the tip of the collarbone there, tip of the shoulder blade, all the way up. Chin, neck, side of the earlobe. Come back up. Pulling with the hand, then let the head win to come back. Pulling. Oh, and I feel my grip failing for sure on the towel hand, so I'm going to have to regather that every few repetitions. Oh. Don't just move in and out, but do it with resistance. Fight against the hand here with the head and neck. And fight against the hand to come back home. Give that grip a break. Repeat. Oh, nice. Very nice. Find the deepest stretch you can on that side angle. Woo! I feel like the skin on the side of my neck is going to split. And that's kind of the effect we're looking for. That feeling at least. Ay, 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 ay. Get deep into it. Find a scorch. Woo! Use the strap. The shoulder get pulled down. Oh, that's nice. Really nice. It'll be interesting too, before we hit the other side, to feel how different the two sides of the neck feel. Keep working. Deep, deep, deep. Don't forget the resistance. Pull. Pull with the hand. Crank it. Gently come out. That's our timer. Now just take a moment. Feel the two sides and how different they are. While this gripped hand is very, very exhausted from what it just went through, that side of my neck is, I don't know how to describe. Open, I suppose. Like I have a lung there. I'm able to breathe in that space. This side is still all bricked up, still nice and tight. Let's address it now, so we can breathe in both sides of the neck. Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's really effective. Awesome, awesome. Woo! Other side is so different. Let's capture that mid shin. Left hand now, left shin. Grabbing nice and low. Trapping it, like so. Battle stance up with the opposite leg. And find the right position for this hand. If it feels too low, go ahead and crawl out of the top. If you need more, you're gonna crawl into it, get a deeper grip. Turn out just a tad. Turn the chin just a tad. Grab the head and neck. Do the thinking man for a second, the thinker. Captain Morgan, whatever you want to think of it as. Embrace the position. And the leaning leg. Oh, that's so much tighter than the other side. Come back up. Lean into it. Oh. Come back up. 2 minutes of treatment on this side. Begin. Every rep, be progressive. Strive to either handle more power from the hand and or go deeper into the range. Every single rep is going to push one of those two variables or both compared to the previous rep. Oh, yeet. Damn, that's nice. Refresh your grip whenever you need. Oh, don't forget that resistance. Don't just passively move in and out of the postures. It makes a massive difference. So here on the way down, start pulling with the hand and resist with the head and neck. And then slowly let the hand win. Oh, when you get a much deeper stretch. Much, much deeper stretch. Oh, Lordy. Resistance stretching. It's called that for a reason. Ooh. Very nice. Keep cranking. Not much time left. Take advantage. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Say it thrice. Ooh. Drop that grip. My shoulders have dropped. I'm able to peek out of that turtle shell quite nicely. Now we have a static stretch for the back of the neck, the stuff we just worked. You have two options. I'm sure you can find more options in between these two. Back to this one, where we're gathering this. If that felt great, feel free to stay here. Pull down. That's that. Wonderful. Curve the upper spine, bring the chin to the chest, pull forward. Static stretch. So you're going to have to depend on your grip and your arms to create that resistance. If you want to go further, if you're down with the inversion game, we'll do just that. We've done this before on our stretch sessions here, home stretch sessions. We're going to use the weight of the body to keep that neck flexion to the maximum. So only if this one feels good for you and it's within your comfortable capabilities should you move forward to this. Nothing wrong with that towel stretch. So I'm rolling back. And I'm keeping of course I'm looking at the camera now, but I want you to be squared up so that the chin comes into contact with that sternum. And this is all about the back of the neck, so don't worry about the hamstrings. We don't need to straighten the legs like we've done. You keep the knees bent, and you just walk those feet back to create the deepest curve here as possible. So see, I got my knees right down my forehead. If they can even go to the ground, that's great too. This one does cramp the throat a little bit, so make sure you're monitoring your breathing and you're able to get good air the entire time. 2 minutes, hold. You pick your poison, whether it's the towel seated or this inversion here. Begin. Coming up on the halfway, refresh your intent. Take a big inhale. Exhale, go further into it. Another minute. Twenty seconds. And gently ease out. Woo. And sit up at your leisure. Oh, wow. This chest belting up 360 rounding feels completely different than it did 50 minutes ago. Enjoy that. Very, very nice. Cool. I I don't want to go too long today. There's so many other things to hit. I get abused with the tech postures. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's hip flexor. As far as the lower body goes, I'm in my chair. These angles are very, very short. The abs, the obliques, intercostals even, it leads to shorter breaths. But hip flexor set and lower abs, psoas, whatever you want to think of those. So if this is the posture we're stuck in with the chair, the opposite would be opened up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. All fours. Bring the right leg up. Get home. And now I'm crawling up nice and tall. Like so. And this is the section of my body, the front of the left hip, that I want to really get at. You can use the towel, unless you can grab it without the towel, that back foot. We're going to lean in. I'm thinking to the center of my hip, thrusting forward as I look up with the chest, look up with the chin, and I find that stretch right there. If you can't reach, you can totally do it with this flat leg and just go there. That's plenty quality. If you want to grab, however, you can always come back. Make a loop with the towel. And once you got that loop, put it over the laces and trap it right to the head, right there. I think I'm going to do that one. That felt quite nice. We're going to go 1 minute of resistance stretching with this. Let's swap that timer out. 1 minute only because the knee is down and it will get a little uncomfortable putting that knee pressure down. So let me show you the movement once more. I'm either grabbing this foot with my hand, grabbing the towel, or keeping that foot flat down. I got a nice long split stretch. I lean forward as I look up. Creating the biggest curve here possible. 1 minute, begin. In and out. Deep. Oh. And this foot grab may be distracting. Remember, we're not working for the quads, per se. We're working for this angle. So if that foot grab feels really tough or really tight, just drop that back foot down and do the battle stance only. 30 seconds left. This is about the hip mostly. Quads are secondary. Oh. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Drop that back leg. Let's switch sides. We'll do some more hip thrusting for a minute. Let's take a moment to feel the difference. Left side of my body, nice and open. Right side, front of the hip, relatively feels quite tight. So we made some change happen, if we can perceive that difference. Now the right knee is down, the left leg comes up, and we're thrusting that way. And I can already feel, without the towel grab, I'm getting a fine stretch just by going there. If you'd like to go further, please do. Not required. But if you do grab that loop, put it on the laces, not in the crook of the ankle. That's going to give us a tibialis stretch as well. So everything on the anterior of the leg, on the front side of the leg, is going to catch a stretch. Get over those toes there. Oh, that's nice. Over the toes. Let's get it. 1 minute, thrusting. Begin. Oh, right where my fist is. Think of that as the arrow. Eek. Very nice. Open it up. Breathe into it. Oh. Gently relax. Oh, nice. Very nice. We made some change, I think. How about that? Quick review. Belly and top side of the forearms. Nice and cool. Nice and relaxed. Sides of the neck, upper traps. All this stuff that barely gets touched. Everything supporting the back of the head and neck. Hip flexors as well, we just found. And think of the way we sit during those activities. Shortness here from the seating. Curvature here and there. Back of the heads and the neck. Holding the weight of the hands over that work surface. Those are all the things that create the tension that we just had to address. So not only should we treat the effects of that like we just did for 57 minutes, we should also work to mitigate the causation. So when we're here, maybe chest out a little, maybe chin up and back a little. Maybe play around with the leg positioning on the chair, do some cross-legged stuff. Sit the chair a little higher so the knees aren't so cramped up towards the chest. Try not to lean forward. In fact, you can even recline a little bit, a 5-degree recline. And give those wrists a break. Don't just be there all the time. Give it a relax. Do a couple circles perhaps. Show those muscles that they do have range of motion. And then get back to work, right? Finally realize, no matter how much we think about that stuff, you know, it's my job, it's my profession to preach about this and talk about posture and all that. Put me on the video games for 20 minutes. I'm right there. Once we get focused in the thing, it's damn near impossible to set up perfect posture that can be sustained. And furthermore, the muscles that would create the perfect posture, those would eventually develop trigger point adhesions and tightness as well. So it's about minimizing the constant time in those postures, taking breaks, getting up and doing the opposite. Now we're aware of what the posture is, so we can get up and do a bit of the opposite. And just, you know, accept the reality, right? But if you do nothing about it, it's not gonna get any better. And we should never assume first that we just have a condition. If something's showing up new and it's chronic and it's aching, we should first point towards causes that involve our habits, because those are the things that we can address. So let's address those first, see what kind of goodness can happen, what kind of good change can happen. Then we can make a more accurate assessment of perhaps other things that are out of our control and their effects. That was great. I feel wonderful. And I suppose back to gaming today. Have a wonderful day. Good to see you. Share this one. Easily accessible. And we all need these treatments right here that we just did. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Next, stretch your heart open.